Wait, what did I see recently, guys? There's some Cody Co drama. People are saying he's a PDF. Let's hear it. Let's hear
I'm
it.
sure most of you are at least loosely familiar with his content. He's been very large on the platform for years now. And recently, some disturbing allegations have come out against him. Now, the allegations against him aren't exactly brand new. They're not, fresh off the battle bus, hot drop in here out of nowhere.
At the battle box, guys. At the battle box.
They've actually existed for a little while now, but never actually received a lot of coverage or a lot of attention. Kind of just been sidelined with people not knowing about it or not talking about it. Until yesterday, when another YouTuber named D'Angelo Wallace gave some amazing coverage breaking down the entire situation here and going over everything that Cody Co is accused of.
Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mongeau.
Yikes. Yeah, that's some pretty awful
How do you pronounce it? Mojo?
Shit right there. That's a huge allegation that actually has a lot of evidence backing it up, which D'Angelo Wallace covers in great detail.
How hard is it to not be a PDF when you're already super crazy successful? I think for people like this, it's just like, you are who you are, and if you have more money, it's probably easier to... Like, if you're a PDF and you have a ton of money, it's probably easier to be a PDF and not get caught than if you're, like, doing it as somebody who's poor. Like, it just kind of, like, amplifies your access to, like, what you do. So somebody like this who has that in them is going to abuse their money and their fame to do it. It's not like people like that, they don't view it as like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. They view it as, like, oh, now I can really, like, be who I really am.
Detail in this video. It's not some imaginary nothing burger that someone squeaked out between their butt cheeks to try.
Wait, you guys don't know who Cody Co is? Isn't this guy like massively successful?
And ruin Cody Co. It's a serious accusation that appears to have a lot of evidence about it.
Guy has 6.2
I'm not
million
here to
followers
accuse you
on
of
YouTube.
committing a crime in this video because I can't do that based on someone else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now.
I think that's a great point. Even though these are still allegations with nothing that's been proven, since there is so much supporting evidence around the claims, it definitely is something that needs to be examined thoroughly because it is a huge deal.
And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Co. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
This clip started making the rounds, and people were understandably perturbed, because if Tana Mongeau was 17...
I was 17, god damn.
You would have been 25. So people started speculating, and Tana decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25.
I'm going to go ahead and break down these numbers here because it seems like people are starting to struggle with math, like teriology starting to pop off with 1 × 1 = 2 and all that. I'm just going to go ahead and explain.
Teriology, holy fuck, that shit is so insane.
In this, 17 is less than 18. Thus, that is below the age of consent and is a crime. And I already have seen comments on this situation about 17, who gives a f***? That's basically 18 anyway. And it's the same dog shit, brain dead concern.
Yeah, it's so weird how like that's like a. I mean, look, in the United States, it's just there's just a fucking law. But even if there wasn't a law, like 25 and 17 is also like fucking weird. Like I don't know. I feel like people that have the take that it's not weird have just not been 25 yet. Like 25, like you're done with your masters and shit. Like you could be like in school, like doing a graduate degree with somebody who's not done with high school. Like it is fucking weird, bro.
Earning mentality, like your hard drive needs to be investigated type shit that we saw with Dr. Disrespect, where they're like, no one should really care that Dr. Disrespect was talking inappropriately with a 17-year-old, even though, once again, you absolute Cro-Magnon, there is no evidence that Dr. Disrespect ever talked to a 17-year-old. Not even he said that. It has only ever been stated as a minor. Everyone around Dr. Disrespect never mentioned.
Yeah, just because something is legal doesn't mean it's not fucking weird. I mean, you see people that are like 65 with like 30-year-old girlfriends, and like that shit is fucking weird too, bro.
17. It's actual delusional Fantasyland Narnia type shit where people are trying to defend him by saying it was actually a 17-year-old, 364 days old, which is absolute barnacles. Like that's a load of fish paste. And even still,
what is the moist critical lingo, bro? Jesus.
Bad. I don't know how we've devolved so much where all of a sudden 17 is now something people try and justify. So like in this case right here, you'll have some drooling, stinky, bumbling morons in the comments saying how it's not a big deal because 17 shouldn't be an issue. You know, like, age of consent over in this region is actually 16, so really, he waited till she was old. Like, it's craziness. It's actually craziness. It is a crime. It is a minor. Still, it's bad. Like, I don't know why that needs to be explained all of a sudden. Now, something D'Angelo Wallace does make a point of here is pointing out that Tana Mongeau is not well liked. I am sure if you've been on YouTube for any length of time, you've heard her name and seen a lot of less than stellar things about her. She has a history of lying and putting on a lot of bad stuff and bad behavior. However, when it comes to this claim, this doesn't appear to be something that she's just lying about for clout to try and elevate her platform on the back of Cody Co's good name or anything like that. This is a story that's been told even a few years in the past about this situation here. So this isn't something that she just pulled out of thin air.
Is different, but the age of consent, like when, like in states, I'm not I would probably have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure the way age of consent works in the United States is when somebody like in the states where the age of consent is less than 18, it's like 17 but with like a 2-year gap or something like that. Like you can't just be like 40 and like it's not like just a raw like 16 and it's like all systems go. Let me see how it works in Florida. Let me see, because this is like this is a state that I'm from. Florida consent is 18. But in close exemptions, it can exist. By law, the exemption permits a 23 years of age or younger to engage in legal sexual activity with a minor age 16 or 17. So normally like 25 and 16 or 17, even in states where it's legal, is like where the age of consent is listed as 16 or 17, it's actually not legal for a 25-year-old to engage in sexual acts with somebody under the age of 18.
This is actually an allegation that has existed for a long time that is only just now starting to surface.
Where
She
were
claims
they?
that.
Let's see, New York. How does New York work? Age of consent is 17. Sexual person is 16. Sex with a person under 17 is a Class E felony if the perpetrator is at least 21. Third degree rape under 15. Maybe in New York it's straight up 17. I have no idea. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated, bro. I feel like that's something that shouldn't even be like state by state. Like, how does it make sense that like age of consent is a state by state thing as opposed to just like a national thing? Like, shouldn't they just agree on an age and that's like what, like, is there that much difference between states? Like, I don't understand it. Just seems like mega stupid to me.
Not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mongeau is...
Okay, so it was illegal. So it was illegal. Damn, I should have just played the video. So it literally just was illegal.
accusing you of statutory rape. And she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know. I know she like looks a little older. She's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This is really,
God damn.
really bad.
Really, really bad indeed. Pardon my potty mouth here, but this is fucking disgusting. Like, this is by far the most compelling piece of evidence presented, because this is a completely separate third-party individual coming forward now with the same story years ago, exactly how Tana described it. Jesus. Finding this clip was huge. I don't even know how it was unearthed. Huge props for finding this ancient artifact, because apparently it had been scrubbed from like everywhere. I don't even know how you would have even gone about finding something like this, but I really think...
Bro, it's like, you can tell that these people are fucking weird as well. Okay, we're in draft. You can tell these people are fucking weird as well, because like, who would want to have like that type of like sexual interaction when you're not of that age anyway? Like, it's fucking like awkward. It's like you're like, what the... It's like an awkward, weird interaction. Like this guy's like what was the worst sex I ever had in my life? Oh, probably like one of the first times I had, like 16, 17. Like that is probably like the worst sex you'll ever have in your entire life. And it's like, yeah, I just get off on the idea. So I'm just going to fucking do it again. Jesus Christ, man.